Welcome back, World of Warcraft fans, to another episode of Casual Encounters. This is episode 6.2, and welcome back. Last night, right as I finished recording 6.1, I looked over at my BattleNet launcher, and I see maintenance for Thursday, and it was a pretty long one. It was like from 5 a.m. to 11:30 Pacific, and I got all excited. I said, "Oh my God, they're gonna put in the level 90 boost. They're gonna put it in." I said, "Wow, they were real." When they said soon, they meant soon. Wow, that's awesome. So I started looking up online to see if anybody had any news. And then I looked, and there was a post, and it said a whole bunch of people lost their mounts or something, and then they had to do reset and fix all kinds of stuff. So the level 90 boost didn't come in. And what did I get? I got a mount in the mail that I already had. So I guess what they did is, I think a bunch of people lost mounts that they'd purchased or earned or something. I got the Tyrael mount. I think that was something I got in the deluxe edition of Kata or Mists, whatever. I'm not sure. But yeah, so I got this mount in the mail. I guess they were just in case people lost certain mounts. I guess there was a particular mounts that people had lost or whatever. So I guess they just sent it out to everybody. But I moused over it. It said known, already known. Oh, okay. I already have it. Delete, whatever. So that was disappointing that level 90 boost didn't come in, but so I guess my sexy little paladin's going to have to wait a little bit longer to get her level 90 boost and start her long journey down the legendary road. So, anyways, what I really wanted to talk about today, and this is really going to tie into some stuff that I've talked about before. It's just going to get a little more detail about what I think about five mans. As you know, I like to, watch other people's videos, seeing what they're talking about, and then all kinds of news and whatever. So, there's a channel by the name of Bellular Gaming. He does like a WoW report every single day. He has question and answers. He's got all kinds of stuff. He's really good. He looks like he does a lot of research and a lot of work. And he had a discussion about how difficult 5-man should be. So this is a really interesting question because, as you know, now, obviously right now, at this point in time, if you are, running your flexes or your normals, SOOs, and there's just no reason at all to do heroics, right? I mean, there's none. They have no new ones. The gear is 463. Okay, maybe if you want to cap out your valor, but I find that unless you're really doing a lot of raiding and you're getting a lot of drops to upgrade that gear, there's really not a whole lot of point to get a whole ton of valor. I mean, I'm pretty much able, just with the flexes and that I do, it pretty much keeps me up with my upgrading. I don't know. Maybe if you do more, I don't know. Maybe if you do more, or maybe if you're luckier in drops. I'm not sure. I'm not really, I haven't needed to run heroics in a long time. So what does that leave me? As I mentioned in one of my previous videos, SOO, it's all I got to do. That's it. Nothing else. I mean, yeah, okay, sure. I'm talking about progression-wise. Sure, there's tons of things you could do in a while. I'm not going to complain about being bored. I know that I could go do battle pets. You can farm some stuff to make some gold, or I don't know. There's you can go farm some mounts. You can go farm some transmog gear. There's plenty of stuff to do in WoW. Don't get me wrong. I'll never be bored playing the game, I don't think. There's just really too, if I want to play WoW, I know there's always something I can do. There's really, and if I don't feel like doing battle pets and whatever, if I don't feel like doing anything else other than progression, that's where I have a problem. That's all people are worried about. If your only interest in WoW is progressing through raids, then all you're doing is SOO. So the question is, of course, how hard do they need to make 5-mans? Well, that is going to completely depend on the rewards for them. Right now, there is no rewards for them. Like I said, you get Valor, which is just for upgrades. So if you have nothing to upgrade, well, you don't need any Valor. And I guess one of the issues is obviously at the beginning of an expansion, you get all these dungeons, and they can't be that hard. They can't be too difficult because you have all this beginner gear. So obviously the normals, I can understand. The normals are going to be pretty simple, and just to get some little gear so you can do some heroics. Then right now the heroics are only giving you 463 blues, and that's supposed to help you get into the what was it, the Mogushan Vault stuff, right? And then you move up from there. Of course, now you can skip all that and just go straight to Timeless Isle and get all your 496 gear, and you're good. So yeah, I guess one thing like they've done with the raids is create these multiple levels of the dungeons. Why not do that? I mean, I think that would be pretty good. And as they go through tiers, maybe they can add another level of difficulty. I'm not quite sure. Or they need to, of course, and it would be great if they added some. I mean, I remember during Wrath of the Lich King when they brought out Forge of Souls and Halls of Reflection and the other one, whatever it was, I don't remember what it was called. But oh man, it was so exciting. And even in Cataclysm with the whole Well of Eternity stuff, that was great, and you got some decent gear out of it. I mean, the Zandalari stuff was long and whatever. And that's another point actually that I want to make is that it's not so much the difficulty when you have to do things over and over again. The difficulty itself isn't really the issue. I find, like with the Zandalaris, and do you remember Grim Batal? How many times have you gone into Grim Batal and gone, oh my god, I don't want to be here? Yeah, some of the bosses were tough, but that wasn't the problem. It was the trash was so long. You had to CC everything. Okay, maybe near the end you didn't have to CC anything because, yes, we were all over geared for it and whatever. But holy Moses, that was pretty tough. And it's, if you're going through the first time or whatever, it's okay. It was a beautiful dungeon. I mean, it was really cool. You did the whole flying thing on the drakes or whatever they were, and it was cool mechanics for that. And that was great. It's not that. It's the replaying it. Oh, like when you had to go and replay when you just wanted to go in and just for Valor after. Because you really didn't need any gear from it. Yeah, it was like, oh my. Yeah, and they were pretty tough. At the beginning, man, if you want, those were pretty tough dungeons, and it's okay. Like I said, it's okay to be difficult if the reward is worth it. So, like I really think it would be really cool to have some kind of, like they do now with the flexes and the whatever. I mean, you don't have to make it flexible, but have these different degrees of level. So obviously, when you're leveling up, you can have your leveling up dungeons, right? And then you can, have a significantly more difficult 90 dungeon that gives you some nice blue gear. Kind of, I would say, in the area of where what let's say, in the area of kind of what heroics are now in Mists, I would say let that be the 90. Let that be the normal 90. Um, and then what I would do is create heroics um, that are tougher, but will give like tough enough, like tough that people can get through in a decent amount of time. Especially replayability. Once they're able to replay it, that it won't take an hour, to get through it, just because you're spending more time on trash than anything else. Um, and make it so, and make that tier, so that it's kind of the rewards for it are worth going through. So, give it that sort of normal, that normal raid gear. That's what I think. Kind of like it, because, or bring back at least bring back the whole Valor thing where you can actually get normal level gear. There has to be some kind of way, because unless you're a hardcore player, or even or just, you don't have to be super hardcore. I mean, just top percentile. I'm not even sure what, top 25%, whatever, 10. I'm not even sure what percentage is. I'm guessing. So unless you're like in that top 10% or whatever, chances are, if you're gonna get, your team might need normal level gear to get through normal level raids. I know my guild, we're very casual, and we're sort of, we can't, the whole point of our guild is that you don't have to be here at a certain time. We do have scheduled times we're on, but no one's getting kicked off. No one's getting kicked out of the guild if they don't show up, and some people just come on raid time and whatever, so it's casual. So, because we just want to be that sort of friends and family type of guild. It's just who we are. So we tend to need to sort of outgear the content in order to get through it. And maybe some people would say, hey, well, if you have to outgear it, then maybe you shouldn't be doing it. But that's not Blizzard's theory, right? Blizzard's theory is everybody should be able to see it. And I guess now it probably is going to be a lot easier now, with normal having to flex difficulty. So that kind of works now, right? Because that would sort of be like, okay, have heroic dungeons, or let's call them mythical dungeons if you want. They can bring that out after. So let's say in the first tier, right? The first tier, they can have heroic, which will give that tier, that sort of normal rating level gear. And then in the second tier, they can bring in mythical. So that way they don't have to create all these new dungeons. They can just amp up the difficulty, maybe throw in a few new mechanics or something, I don't know, just to make it a little more interesting, and have it give the normal level gear of the second tier. And then maybe before the third tier, they can bring in some new dungeons, and then have those dungeons give you item level gear that is going to be equivalent to the normal level gear of the last tier, because we need that. Us not so talented casual people need that gear to get through the content, so that we as a guild can get all of our guild achievements on normal level rating. So yeah, that's as long as as long as it's worth going in. It's got to be worth going in. So that's where the difficulty's got to be. And I do believe that there should be. And again, what makes the replayability of dungeons is if you're spending 20 minutes on bosses and 40 minutes on trash, no good. That, for me, I don't like that. You're going in there to get gear, and some people say it's all part of the experience, but Not everybody's got an hour to do a dungeon. People want to go in, get some gear. That's, they want to spend those long, when they have those long hours, they want to spend that on raiding, right? And, maybe the first couple of times you go in, you are going to spend that little extra time because maybe the bosses are a little tougher, but it's worth it because you get the gear. And then once you can get through those bosses a little quicker, and you can take 20 minutes to a half an hour to get through those mythical dungeons or heroic, depending on which tier you're in, then you can move on to the raiding. So, yeah, that's, I think it would just be really good. They just, like I said, like I mentioned in my other videos, you need an alternate way to gear. You need it. You can't just be running the tier raid and that's your only way to progress. It's your only way. You have no other way. It just seems silly to me. So yeah, I think, how hard should dungeons be? Well, dungeons should be as hard as they need to be, and be rewarded as such. So give them that. You can reuse the dungeons just like you're reusing the raids, but have the options so that you're not just doing that one thing. If you have to redo all the same dungeons over, at least you can do raids and dungeons, not just freaking the same raid all the time. So yeah, that's pretty much, I think that would be a great way to do it. Or, if they want to, I think that would be a better way. I think that's a great way, even better than the old Valor system where you just run through the same dungeons over and over just to get Valor, and they're really easy, they're not challenging, they're not, it's really just going through the motions so that you can get some Valor to buy some better gear. No, I mean, make it difficult enough so that it's worthy of the gear you get, and not too long so that the casual players actually have time to build up their gear so that they can, push their way through those normal level raids when they have the time to do so. So, yep, that's what I think about that. As usual, if you want to contact me, you can email me at wowonmymind@gmail.com. Please subscribe. There's a little button up here or over here or whatever. I'm not sure where it is. Click on that to subscribe. Please leave some comments. Let me know what you think. And as I always say, have fun playing WoW, and let's hope we get our level 90 boost real soon. Take care. Bye-bye.